Hey everybody, Jared Jones. Today we are going to cut through the clutter of Orange County, specifically Orlando, Florida market update. That's what you obviously follow this channel for, and that's what I'm known for. I'm an expert in the Central Florida market. I study the data here, and I've been in the business for over 20 years, nearly 4,000 satisfied transactions, and I am loved and hated. Some people call me the anti-realtor. They say, why are you saying this about the economy? I'm going to call it like I see it in the housing data and shoot you straight. So if that's the kind of information you like, this channel is dedicated to basically keeping you updated on all the marketplaces around Orlando. We cover everything from St. Cloud to Orlando, Winter Garden, Longwood, Seminole County, Lake County, Osceola, all of them. Okay, so if that's what you like, follow the channel. But let's get into the data. Again, this is live. So if I make a mistake, show me grace because these aren't as easy as they look. But let me go ahead and show you. You're going to see all the data here. This data, by the way, is coming from the National Association, Florida Association specifically of Realtors. And you're going to notice that it says Orange County on the data. That's because I pull Orange County. Orange County is predominantly Orlando. Yes, I know it includes Apopka, Ocoee, Winter Garden, Windermere. But for the most part, it is Orlando. And when you're looking at these data numbers, the vast majority, 75, probably 80% of this information is coming from Orlando proper, okay? You'd say, Jared, why don't you just pull the city of Orlando? Well, I would, but the data from the Florida Association of Realtors based on the cities are not that great. And being that I know that, I'm gonna make sure we keep it as accurate as we can. You see that? Coffee and data. Let's get into it. All right, here we go. Active inventory. You noticed across Florida, the massive stories about how Florida is way ahead of the national average and exploding inventory. You can see here that this chart on the left goes back to 2017 and most pre-COVID, right? You see the chart where it kind of bounced around 3,600 to 4,000 units on the market any given time. And then during COVID, we bottomed out in this marketplace down to 960 units at the bottom. Now today, we are at 2,740 units. And again, this is why you watch the data. This is why you watch it, because market by market, things are different. And when you look at, for instance, if you're looking at Naples, Florida, or Tampa, Florida, or Jacksonville, the number, if this is the old days, pre-pandemic, the number in those markets are way high on the left, or on the far right side of the graph. So like looking at current times, that's way higher. You can see that in the Orange County marketplace, we are still below the historic norms. That's not to say, look down here, we are currently at 69% above last year, okay? So last year, we were trending probably 1,500 units, something like that. We are definitely going up. So you can see, look, we started January, we were only 12% above last year. Then it jumped to 33% in March, 57%. You could see this is a sign, essentially, when you see active inventory like this across Orange County just spiking, is that there is more sellers listing real estate and ultimately less buyers in the market. So buyers are feeling the pinch of affordability, and clearly you can see that that is affecting the amount of sales that we're seeing. But let me go, I want to see median sale price. Let's see if the median sale price, by the way, let me jump into, I'll add condos into this as well. But this is the entire marketplace median sale price. You can see that median sale price in Orange County has really steadily climbed since 2017. It's currently $445,000, which represents a 7% increase over last year. So obviously you can see that even though parts of Florida are flat, in some cases falling, like the Villages is negative and Northport, Florida is negative, you have our marketplace here in the Orlando market still doing relatively okay, okay? It's 7% up. You can see that the overall trend is just kind of in a takeoff mode. It's not spiking anymore. It's not going directly, I call it SpaceX whenever you have a marketplace just shooting, straight up or straight down. So obviously median price is holding. But let's look at pending sales, because that is something that we want to be paying attention to. When pending sales are off, that is why your unsold inventory climbs. It's a sign that buyers are out of the market, my friends. Look at this. In May, we're down almost 9%. April, down 4.8%. March, down 1%. February, 5%. Every month this year, pending sales are negative. And essentially, if your pendings are down, you're selling less homes in the future. So pendings is obviously a leading indicator to tell you what kind of closed sales you're going to have. And this is obviously not great. Look at the history. This is why, if this doesn't change, my friends, you're going to see a lot more inventory in Orlando, because look at the historic norms. We bounced around 26, 2,500, something like that on a monthly basis very consistently. Now, you kind of want to look at this like a heart monitor. In the past, you see it circled this line. You could cut this line right here, 2,500, right through the heart of the market previously, and it would spin half the time above it and half the time directly beneath it, but it kind of circulated. It was kind of a dependable market range. Look at this. You can see if you cut the line far right, look at this. Going back to 2022, we have not pended more than 2,500 homes going all the way back to November of 2021, okay? So this entire time, you can see that, for whatever reason, it'll be interesting to see. So far, this has not been a problem for the market from the standpoint of median price, but we will have to see. Let's take a look at new listings. How much of this inventory is affected by more people deciding they want to sell in 2024? Well, look at that. You can see that over the past 2 years that we never listed more than 2,000 homes this whole time. And now for 3 straight months coming into the summer of 2024, we're above that number. So for whatever reason, for the preceding year and a half, sellers have decided they are going to clamp down and not sell their house. You see look at all this activity. You see it banking above 2,500. You see it bottoming around 1,500. But really, again, kind of 2,100 to 2,600 units was kind of a standard in this market. And we're just really not there, which is, it's okay in the market like we're in that we have a little bit of a tame seller that's not jumping out the window to sell their house. Begs the question, why is it climbing now? Why is the marketplace suddenly seeing more inventory, sellers pushing into it, at the same time buyers are backing away from it? Okay, so why is that? There's a lot of speculation. Cost to own is getting high. You're like, yeah, Jared, they have 3% interest rates, a 30-year fixed. No question. But sometimes we have HOAs making big adjustments. You have insurance on some of these owners is climbing. If there's non-owner properties, the taxes are going up. And ultimately, Orange County showed a rent decline. So the price of rents in the marketplace in Orlando proper was around 4% year over year last month. We're one of the few marketplaces across the country that actually lost rent. Let's stop for some coffee. All right, let's take a look at months of supply. Months of supply is the pulse of the market health. The higher this goes, it's not good, my friends. That is high, okay? So months of supply. If you guys are ardent followers of me, you know that I play an economist on YouTube. Months of supply is my favorite economic tool to understand how much your marketplace is either buyer favored, seller favored, is in trouble, is going to go into a decline or possible price reductions. This right here is a sign, months of supply, to explain to you, is essentially if you stop listing homes in the marketplace today, okay, you have, 8,000 homes, or how many active supply we have in this marketplace. If you stop listing any more today, how long, based on how fast they're selling, would it take you to sell them off? If it goes really high, that's when sellers that are motivated get stressed and cut the price. Okay, it's a sign that if buyers, if they start backing way down and they're not, the demand goes down usually because of affordability, and sellers get motivated due to rising unemployment, factors of ownership cost, this goes up. And you can see 3.2. And 3.2, even though, let me tell you this, it's good that you have someone who knows these numbers across the entire state. 3.2, even though it is highest on this graph, I have to stretch this back. I'm going to just do it for fun. I'm going to see how long it's been since we've been at a 3.2 in Orange County. I'm going to go back to 2012, but listen to me on this. 3.2 months of supply, even though for this chart is off, it's SpaceX on the right. Okay. When you look at this, this isn't high for the state, and it's not high for the metro area. So the state of Florida is around 5.2 months of supply, which is high when you consider the rest of the US is at 3.5 or 3.6. So 3.2 is actually low when you compare it to the rest of Florida. It is not low when you compare it to the history of this market, because you can tell Orange County rarely goes over 3. Now, what happens when it does? Well, sellers that are used to the market are going to feel a little slower. It's going to precipitate more price reductions. It's going to make a buyer feel like they have more strength. One of the things I want you to see down here is look how it has changed, my friends. Look at, I don't know if you can see, towards the bottom of the graph. You can. I'm going to raise this. Look at the bottom. Okay, so you have down here, oof, there we go. Very bottom, look at this. June 2023 of last year, we were at a 1.8 month of supply, which was 20% over the prior year, which is how tight it was in 2022. But July 23, 1.9, 2.1, look at it. It just started to get out of control. It was 10% over, and then it was 20%, and then 30%, and then gradually where we are now, we are almost 90%. And again, if you look at the last 3 months on this record, it looks kind of like it's averaging 10% increase every single month. If that continues, it'll get interesting. But let's take a look at how long it's been since we've been at 3.2. Just look at the history. So if you look at 3.2 and you line all the way across, I bet you I can guess the year. It's probably 2016. Nope. Is it long? Yeah, 2016. That's common. Okay. So what I'm seeing across the Central Florida market is we're hitting numbers now. When you cut a line across, you say, when was the last time we had this much supply? Barack Obama was president. That's what I say. That's what it is. You'd say, Jared, what do you mean? Well, I'm saying whenever I look at stuff like what's the rate of listings failing in this area? Okay, I'll find the number of how many listings are failing or expiring or failing to sell at the end of their contract. I'll look at history, and you know when I'll find the last time that they're as high as they are now? 2016. Okay, you say, what does that mean? It just means that we're at 8-year numbers we haven't seen in 8 years. You know, we were recovering. So you can see from this big roller coaster on the left, we were recovering from a high and then a low recapture. So we were coming off of very high numbers in 2012. It bottomed out, and then more short sales or whatever the marketplace took on in 2013 and 14. You saw it kind of climbed again. So it kind of overcorrected. It went way down and came back up. The marketplace just gradually found its equilibrium around 3 months of supply. Okay, so this just means buyers are getting stronger in this market. Sellers, the marketplace is drifting away from you a little bit, and that is obviously part of the problem. Let's take a look. I think I pulled active inventory earlier. I just want to take one more look. Yeah, so active inventory is at 4,400 units, 84% over last year. And again, we haven't had, let's say 4,400 units. And this is a number we haven't seen, going back to 2019. So again, most of Central Florida is kind of like pre-pandemic numbers as well. Like some of the numbers that we're hitting now, we haven't seen those since, we're kind of out of these really low numbers that we saw because of the interest rates being so low. Closed sales, let's take a look at that. And again, you can see pre-pandemic, look, 19, 18, 17, we were really like you cut it line down the middle, you're like 1,800. Half the time you're above 1,800, half the time you're below it. And then right here, we haven't hit 1,800 since August 2022. So closings are down, okay? Look at this. This right here, see this? This is a huge trough compared to the history of this market. And that is what we're struggling with, is that across Florida, I think the best way to explain the dynamic is neither party can afford it. Okay, call it recession. There's obviously other pressures involved. Whether or not those are directly all in Florida, right? Like maybe people that work remote are having job pressures from other states, but they live here. That might be affecting sales. The holding costs are affecting ability for sellers to keep the properties. So you have a weird affordability dilemma, I think, right now that we're just working through. And that's ultimately, this is not obviously just us. the rest of the country had a 30-year low in closed sales last year. 30 years is how long it's been. Mid 1995 was last time we sold so few homes that we sold last year. You can see this bug has bit us as well, where we are seeing very anemic sales against back, this chart right here is going back 12 years. And you can see it's obviously a string of very low activity. And it seems, for whatever reason, that things with the sellers are starting to change. It seems that sellers' ability to hold the properties it's the window is closing, and it's like, for whatever reason, I'm putting it on the market now. Okay, because logic says if you have a property, for instance, paid off and you're super comfortable, and you look at the world, you look at the dynamic of the market, you're gonna go, it's probably a good time just to wait. Maybe I need to let a few more buyers get back in the market. Let me show you this data chart, okay? So we're here in Florida. This is Central Florida. You'll notice that this whole, if you look at I love pulling this chart and seeing, people are like, what is this? Is this who people are voting for? That state looks blue. That don't look right, Jared. Anyway, look at this. You see how if you look across, look, it's like a checkerboard with reds and blues. But if you zoom in on Florida, you'll find that most of it is blue, dark blue, okay? Now, when you read into why that is blue, let's look at the chart itself. This chart that we're looking at is called median list price year over year, okay? Blue means it's negative, okay? So let me say it again. The median list price, you can consider it the asking price for homeowners this month against a year ago, is beneath what we were asking a year ago, okay? Now, why is this critical? Number one, we're rarely in the negative, okay? So I'm gonna show you the chart so you can see it and validate what I'm telling you. You can see this across this line right here is the zero line, okay? You can see that above the zero line, usually every single month after month after month after month after month, it's way over last year, the prior year. Obviously, right here, we had a massive spike in 2021 to 2020. This is actually May 2020. May 2022, people were asking in Orange County 32% over prior year. Woo! That is insane. People were getting paid. Orange County's getting paid. But look what's happened since. It went all the way down, and look at this. Look at how far this has fallen, okay? Right now, June 2024, we are asking $455,000 median. A year ago, $497,000 median, okay? Jared, why? What's median? Why not just the average price? Because median is the median. It's the best chart to take the outliers out of the equation. So if your market has, extra amount of sales on the upper end, this won't be skewed because it's the median. It's a very even way to look at price. So I like to look at it. But look at this. You say, well, Jared, look, I see the zero line. Look, there's a place in history where we went underneath it. Well, yeah, 1 month right here has to have been during COVID. This was the lockdown month, okay? This was right when COVID started. We all of a sudden had a drop. It was a single 1 month, one time, boof, below the line, shot right back up, and it was gone. There was one little recessionary path too back here. I see both of these on nearly every chart I look at, but I'll tell you this, most of the time it is above. Look at this. We are 1 month. What is it? How many months? 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we are 4 months. 4 months in a row of price going to the floor, okay? Now you say, Jared, I saw your median sale price graph. I didn't see any danger. It's kind of sliding like an airplane taking off, kind of flat, kind of to the right. You're right. But this is coming, okay? When this stuff hits the marketplace and you're having the actual asking prices starting to decelerate, you are going to have this come out the other side. So for instance, if someone asks 5% beneath last year, what do they get in the market for their home? They get usually another 97% of whatever they asked. If I ask 300, I'll be lucky to get 290. $300,000 price, 290. $500,000 price, 485. Okay, so we just know there's a customary known number People are going to get 97% of the number they ask. Now you have deceleration. And again, this isn't to alarm you. This isn't about, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Jared says the market's going down. No, but this is something to watch. Because what do you think is happening when you see this is a steady decline in the forward data that's coming? I'm just telling you, this is going to, all this tells me is watch the fall, okay? Meaning fall and winter, not the fall of the market. But watch what's going to happen, because this is going to get fascinating. And this tells me that some sellers are kind of feeling what's going on and making adjustments. Some maybe aren't, okay? So it's gonna be a tricky time to sell your house if you're not paying attention to the market trends. Because if all of a sudden price starts going in this direction, it's in a decline, it's kind of going down, you have to price in front of the market to be the next person out. So if the last home sold for 400 and we start going into a downward pattern, the next house that sells is gonna sell for 395. And having the marketplace, assuming that this leading indicator holds and all of a sudden you see median sales price drifting, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the real market. Again, you tell me what's going on. You call the shots. Let me know in the comments what you think is happening in our market. Hey, listen, appreciate you so much for watching. I have another channel, Jared Jones TV. It is my main channel, nearly 50,000 people. You can join there, where we do topics on the entire marketplace of Central Florida. And as I always mention too, if you haven't smashed the like button already, drop down, smash the thumbs up so that more people can see this video. Appreciate your support. And drop down, tell me which video, which update, which market you'd like to see next. And we'll see you on the next one.